Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. Let's get this underway. Match 2. It was, okay, match 1 was a match in which it was like a proverbial seesaw match. You saw WZ in the first 2 or 3 races pulling away early, then Avail with a string of good races themselves, 3 to 4 races in a row, overtaking the lead, and then WZ were able to pull it back. It ended up being a tie GP after race 8, and then there was a troll penalty on WZ, but they came back from the dead once again after being down 20, pulling away and winning. It is going to be Grumble Volcano, and in the first time out in Grumble Volcano, it was a fairly decent race from Avail, and yeah, they were able to take rock and they were able to dodge lap 3. Let's see if they can do more of the same. Right away, Sean getting up there with a mega, and I will update the score after this race is over. Sean opting to schlag early on here. That nano almost connects right back at him, but this is good for Sean. He could maybe, okay, I was gonna say he could maybe back some greens on the rock hop section here, but since he backed early and didn't back that last one is a sign that AV have shrooms in the middle of the pack. A little bit of an interesting exchange here. Both Casper and Vincent were side by side. Casper was able to pull ahead in the end, trying to schlag with that red. Nothing doing. Vincent is being fairly cautious here. And by the way, is Mac running or does he already? I'd assume there is a switch because Mac is definitely running right now. Sean unfortunately tanks one of the. He ends up having to waste one of the shrooms after tanking the red, but. Decent rock, not super clean, but enough to get him to second. If this does remain shockless, I'd say it favors AV, assuming that one of the spots in 2-3, one of the people in 2-3 pulls shrooms, but there's the POW, preventing really any chance of that happening, unless Vincent pulls one here. No, not quite. And we are going to see Sean goldening up here. Gonna go for the TF strat here, to be able to get himself enough of a launch to make the... Okay, there's a shot coming in. Perfect timing on the shock there from WZ. Able to dodge Casper, getting 2 of AV out. Very good timing on the shock there, and that's a very bad race, actually. It's a bottom 3 from the looks of it from AV. Joris, okay, Joris is bagging now. So it was a substitution. Kevin is not playing. Mac slid into the running department. Joris slid into the bagging department, and Joris, not a bad bagger. I'd say Mac on paper slightly better than Joris, but you know, they wanted some running solidity. They wanted a running change, actually, but that's a perfect race right there, ladies and gentlemen. On the first race of match 2, yeah, plus 31. That's the best you can get if you're bagging. Plus 31, solid start for WZ here. But they are going to go with TF. They are fairly confident here. This is, you know, the first track that you'll point to if you're in top 4 is TF. Or top 2-4, 1-3-4, anything that involves being in 1-4 to start. But let's just see if AV can break this up at all, really. Because, yeah, we see the draft right away from Sean here. I'll fix the scores. And this is all on Sean right now. This is all on Sean, and Zagler makes his way up there, actually. So maybe a little bit more solidity. Maybe the pressure's not all on Sean, but very important shroom there. Very important draft from Zagler. Unfortunately, though, a little bit of a laggy backspam allows WZ to break a little bit more. A nano snipe from Jack. Potassium galore here from WZ. Casper falling behind a little bit, though. Yeah, he does have a star. So... he's going to be able to predict the shock if it ever happens. No ups to schlag, forcing the bill out of Mac. Unfortunately for Mac, they're using the bill a little bit too prematurely. AV were starting to break the top spots there, so if Mac was able to hold on to that bill, it could have been really good for them. But yeah, AV's still in a good spot here. Vincent opting to try to schlag a little bit to see if he can break up the spots a little bit. Unfortunately, Jack with another play. Shot comes in early from WZ. Dodging just TK, though. I mean, the pack was kind of tight. I'm not sure if it would have benefited them to hold on to it a little bit longer, but they opt to pull the trigger there. Able to pull a golden, though, to get back up to the front. This could be a huge mega, depending on the shock status. Although, okay, 234 is not bad for AV here. Even after that shock, they are still 234, which is not horrible. That's just a testament to how well they broke up the top spots early on. I really thought WZ were going to run away with that, but just not a good enough job of preventing the drafts. Not a good enough job of keeping the top spots, and AV were able to get a damage control race. Key, I gotta say, the key of that race, the drafts. Zagler was able to get 2 drafts within the first 20 seconds of the race, allowing him to get up to the front and maintain frontal presence throughout the rest of the race, avoiding a lot of the back spams coming from TK after he dodged up. And same goes for the rest of the 234 there. We do see Sean with the triple shrooms here. Casper does get past the TC in the end. Is he going to be able to pass it off to Vincent? Not able to cut inside enough of that U-turn. And Vincent was able to just run away with that. And of course the triple shroom pull from Sean, able to... Is he going to go for the turn skip here? Tries to go for it, but TK slowing him a little bit. TK keeping him back a little bit with his trail as well. Sean gonna cut inside. Very risky. Almost hits the trail, but he's able to come away unscathed. Shaw comes in, though, from WZ, dodging Casper in a star. Casper not able to really to get up too far, but it's a very vital shock to be able to get them up to the front. 2-3 for AV. 2-3-4 now after Zagler comes up. Sean's going to have to take a wide line. He doesn't want to green his teammates. Does back somebody. Does back a couple people in the back, so maybe that's good for solidifying their middle spots here. AV are going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 out of this if nothing happens. Another shot comes in. And I'm going to switch over to Casper, by the way, and I'm going to keep it mainly on Casper, because he is ahead right now. So we are going to keep it on his point of view right now. Gets bombed out right away, though. Really unfortunate for him. Let's see what it's looking like on Sean's POV. Looks like Zagler kind of fell behind a little bit. Bomb snipe attempt coming in from Jack. I think slowing Mac down heavily, but then catches himself in that blast. So even trade-off in the end. But still a 2-3-4 for AV. We've been seeing a lot of this from AV so far in this particular match. A lot of 2-3-4s. Actually, it is 1-3-4 now. Vincent was able to get up. Blue comes into Vincent. Yeah, TK able to overtake first once again. Casper coming up the rear with the golden. I don't know how much of a factor that's going to play in. Depends on the chain here. That's a good chain. And Sean actually gets backed. Sean gets backed right in the cut. So very, very good backspin there from TK. Hopping in the cut himself and getting a backspin off. That's very, very tightly contested spots here. A lot of people bumping each other around. That is typical Mario Kart Wii. Still 2-3-4 for AV. They're running this pretty well. And Sean getting that schlag off on Jack. How do you like it, Jack? Eat some mega. But yeah, Sean didn't overcommit there. He didn't want to he didn't slow down too heavily to get the people behind. Just wanted to get Jack first and foremost and slow everybody down. But Shaw came in actually, dodging Casper in a star, just right before the cannon and dodging TK in the cannon. Blue comes in though. Not sure how much of a factor that's going to play in. Maybe TK will be able to hold on to second. It's going to be a tight race here. No, Vincent overtakes. Maybe he can get a back spam off here, potentially. Hard to see on Casper's POV. But this is a very contentious spot right here. This bridge can make or break a race. And it looks to me like... What happened to Vincent? Vincent is off the track. There might have been a snipe. I saw Casper swerving with the Nana, but I don't think that is what did it. And it's going to be a top 3 for WZ. Exactly what I mentioned right there. That bridge can make or break a race, and that is exactly what happened. No, it was a Nana. Okay. It was a Nana. Casper got him. He was really far ahead. I'm like, no way he's going to get him with that. But Casper did get him. Got him off the track. Good play from Casper. Top 3 from WZ. Pow comes in. Is he going to be able to avoid this Pow? Yes. Okay. Was that a Pow from AV, actually? Oh, Sean. Yeah, Sean, I think, was just not aware. Yeah, Quinn was coming up the rear. Quinn was bound to take cut in that case, but Sean keeping his line was too stubborn to avoid the star there. I was a little too critical of him there, but in that case, you have to just go wide. But I'd assume that maybe he thought, you know, Quinn would go wide to predict him going wide. It's a bit of a mental game, but shock status looking fairly even. Actually, we may see one of the baggers holding on to it right now, considering an 8th place pull from Sean there was just pulled. Maybe one of the baggers just trying to fake out the other, just trying to play mind games, but we could very well see one of the baggers having the shock here, and we could very well see the race changing around, even though it is a bottom 3 for AV. If the shock were to happen, it should happen now. But assuming that the shock is not happening here, we could be seeing WZ running away with this. I think Edison may be holding on to it. But both baggers still on the ramp section. Maybe Edison doesn't have it yet. But either way, this is going to favor WZ. Easy first for Casper. Vincent got blued on the line, actually. I didn't switch over in time. Got blued on the line. TK, I think, was able to overtake second in that case. Sean hitting the car again. A little bit of a deja vu from that last race. Bottom 2 for AV, starting to look very bleak. Okay, so we see, I'm trying to see who is more aggressive, who is less aggressive. Bomb right away onto Casper here. From the looks of it, I think AV were a little bit more aggressive to start, but a couple of them pulled shrooms early. Spots are fairly mixed. Sean in the Mega. After getting backspammed against Sean with that schlag, he loves to do that for his team. And Sean, while he is a decent runner himself, he's sometimes a little bit more on the inconsistent side. So when he needs to, he will put matters into his own hands, and he will play whatever role he needs to play at any given moment. So Sean able to schlag a little bit. Hitting that Nana, but not for the worst, because he could just bag for an 8th place box here. But Casper's not going to give that up. He's not going to give that 8th place box. Trying to star Sean in the process. But yeah, Sean's just going to be able to golden up. So does Casper. Pack is starting to tighten up a little bit here. And if I were Sean here, it really depends on the bagging battle, right? If WZ have it, okay. Considering that Zagler's first, if WZ has it, I'll just hold this if I were Sean, because I think WZ will not use this until later. And Casper is goldening up, doesn't have a dodge. He was in the back. Unfortunately, Sean gets redded and forced to use his Mega here, but opts to schlag again. Does he get TK? He does. Casper also is off the track. Okay, someone has the shock now. Someone is in possession of it. This is going to be a key exchange. Let's see what will happen here. Bomb comes out. Shock comes in. It's a shock into boxes for... Was that a WZ shock? Or was that an AV shock that was miscommunicated? Because that got Mac and Sean into boxes. Either way, though, Sean not able to predict that. Even if the other team had the shock, you know, it would have been nice for Sean to use that Mega right there. Delay the shock even further if a shock would have come in for WZ. Yeah, I saw Jor's going forward. That's why I was saying one of the baggers had the shock for sure. Because the bagger would have just kept chaining if he had it. And a 1-3-4 for WZ. So that could prove to be a very fatal mistake for Avail, if that were the case. Casper being very careful with Mac, making sure he's not right in his tail the whole time. But Mac, the slow own, it never fails. And why not? Why not Jack and Casper pulling triple reds? Why not? This is a clean top 4 for WZ. No real spots for AV to catch up here aside from the very first few turns, you know, to be able to golden up or use chain a star. But other than that, no way. Just no way. We are going to see Sean, though, pulling another golden. He's pulled 2 so far in this race, but unfortunately not able to break the red. We'll just keep it in Sean for the rest of the race. And no, and a bomb too. Why not? Just to rub salt in the wound. Mac hitting the car. Sean hitting the car. This is absolutely dismal scenes here from the Spring Split finalists. You do not want to see it. And I mentioned in the beginning of this cast that both teams have something to prove. And it looks to me like WollywogZ is just going to put a stamp on this war. This is the WZ we like to see. You know, WZ made a push in the summer split, made a push all the way to the finals, getting 2 upsets. I mean, if you would consider the KG match an upset, the Ethereal match was an upset for sure, but getting those 2 wins over Ethereal and KG, falling short against Metro Wipeout after taking match 1. And WollywogZ are on their way to getting a 2-0 clean sweep against Avail. It is a top 2, 4, 6 for WZ. Easy as you like. That is the margin. Avail, dire circumstances right now. All right, RBC is the meta here for WZ here. I mean, RBC, this is a type of track in which you want to get up to the front early. Prevent the drafts as much as possible. WZ were not able to prevent the drafts well enough in the TF race in this particular war. Let's see if they can rewrite those wrongs and try to see if they can maintain their top spots this time around. Quinn getting hit out of a top spot right away, and of course we see Sean trying to get that bottom spot box. You know, because WZ have had the lion's share of the shocks. We have seen a shock here and there from AV, but Edison has been clutching up the shocks for the most part for today. So Sean opting to go for that 8th place box. In the end, passes a TC off to Jack. I switched over a little too late, but then ends up bumping Jack off. So good play. And then Casper gets that schlag onto Zagler there. So pair of schlag attempts there from both sides, although it does favor AV a little bit more. Casper with that little moment of schlagging work there, but didn't want to overcommit too much because of that top 2 from AV, but easy TC pass from Casper after that blew right onto the AV member there. So Mac has a job to do. He's in first. He is the lone wolf right now. Actually, no, we do see Sean goldening up, but then gets redded out. So yeah, he is the lone wolf. Casper does get the draft off onto Mac and bumps him into the wall. So that is it for AV's frontal presence right now. WZ starting to run away with it a little bit. Blue will be coming in. Not really going to do that much, though. Yeah, WZ's still top 3. Not really going to do that much. It is going to be still a clean top 3 for WZ right off the bat. So yeah, doing a lot better of a job of keeping their top spots. This POW could be huge, although Vincent gets caught. One of the WZ players was stuck on the rail there. I think he hit the wall on the left, and Vincent got bumped off in that exchange. So a little bit unfortunate there. That POW could have dramatically changed the race. Unfortunately, it was a neutral exchange. So it's going to be a top 3 for WZ. In terms of the shock status, speak of the devil, there's the shock right there. And it's going to dodge 2 of AV. Mac and Zagler coming up the rear. Not sure about their chains, but Casper with the golden here. Let's look at Casper's POV to see if he's going to... Okay, I thought he had a golden early. But Sean, unfortunately, getting redded out. There is a blue in play, but Sean is going to hold this, assuming, yeah, AV are in first. It is Mac in first. Unfortunately, Zagler, somewhere down the line, wasn't able to hold his top spot. Either got a bad chain or got killed. Jack got backed on the line. Not going to affect WZ, though. I feel like that's it. That right there. That was Avail's chance to maybe pull something out of the hat, maybe try to mount the beginning of a potential comeback being mounted there from AV. Unfortunately, it slipped through their fingers. WZ with a 2-3-4-5. And yeah, WZ have just been dominant all war. And War 1, you know, it was a seesaw battle. One of the MVPs of that particular war was Edison, you know, getting the shocks, making sure that they ran away with the victory. But as for this particular war, you know, Avail not able to do much with their shocks due to the fact that they're not in the front as much as they were in match 1. So yeah, I mean, all around WZ, I don't really have like a particular player that I want to point at that's really, you know, standing out. It's just overall as a team, WZ are playing solid. Olifrey coming in, super sub Olifrey. We saw super sub, of course. We've seen a couple of super subs on Avail's side, notably Jam coming in for that, you know, infamous comeback in DKM against Charge Brigade and Spring Split. So the super sub choice this time around is going to be Olifrey, and I was wondering if Olifrey would ever come in at any point, and they do pull the trigger on him. And Joris will, or no, Mac is bagging, actually. They sub Joris out. They're going to have Mac back into the bagging department, and they will have Olifrey coming in as a super sub. So we'll see how much of a factor that plays into this. I mean, GCN all around the board. Mario Circuit, more of a reset track. Waluigi, more of a running track. But to the delight of Avail, it does come out with their track pick. This is the first step to a potential comeback. Will Avail recreate the magic that was seen by many, many viewers worldwide in the Spring Split? Can they recreate that magic? We shall find out. Sean opting to just, you know, bag, but everyone else is bagging. It's typically in this track, you don't want to bag too hard because if you do wait for like 2 to 3 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds before hitting a box and get a star, you know, you kind of fall behind because that shroom cut saves a lot of time. But so it is fairly good spots for WZ here. Casper flubbing a little bit, but not really going to affect him too much. Is Casper going to schlag here? This is a 50-50 choice from him. This is a good spot to schlag in, but Sean starring up from the back, maybe demotivating Casper from a schlag attempt. Holding on to this Mega, though, despite, you know, approaching some narrow pathways. This could be a sign. This could be a sign right now that Edison may have it. Do see Vincent flubbing there. It is going to be a top 4 for WZ. Still not pulling the trigger on this Mega, though. Is he going to use the Mega through cut? Still not using the Mega through cut. Sean, oh, it's so unfortunate for Sean. Really, he could have easily broken that top 4. But that TC coming in, yeah, that is why. That is why he did not pull the trigger until now. They have the shock since the beginning. And this is going to be what looks to me like an easy top 3 for WZ. And if there were any doubts before, you know, those doubts are erased. WZ are going to be taking this one home, it looks like. I think they might be mathematically secure, even with 3 top 5s, depending on the scale of or proportion of this race. 43 to 18. 105. No, still feasible. It's still feasible. Still mathematically possible for Avail, but they have to all run at least twice. They have to all run at least twice in order to get a victory out of this. They need to all run and get 2 top 5s. They can afford to bag once, but even in that one, they need, you know, a top 4, 9, or top 3, 5. And we are going to see, yeah, desperation now. Moo Moo Meadows coming out. AV Cow. I don't know if you remember that one. Actually, no, it was a CB Cow. CB Cow. AV Mole. That's what it was. Okay. AV Mole. And it was a CB Cow when Olifrey was experiencing controller issues, just running into cows left and right. Okay, so let's see the beginning here. Let's see how well Sean's going to be able to fend off the potential bump attempts. Doesn't get bumped. Maintaining his frontal presence a little bit. But you got to be aware. Casper was able to slow in a little bit with those greens. Okay, Mac is running, actually. So Mac using that Mega early. Almost connects on Sean. Sean able to sneak by, taking the cut, but using all 3 of his shrooms, actually. Trying to get that third, trying to get that chain in third. Gets another shroom, because why not? But that POW coming in, waited a long time there. That POW does get one of WZ off there. Casper coming away unscathed. I believe he got in midair before that POW became a threat. Gonna do the Moo jump here just to recover a little bit of time. But Edison making the backward strat. That is what you like to see. For those of you that don't know, there is a new backward strat in Rainbow Road. Unfortunately, yeah, Sean, I like that he wanted to break the top spots there. At this point, you want to take a risk. Unfortunately, not getting enough air. Zagler almost getting him off. But there's a certain position in the track in which you can actually get over the ramp and respawn, I believe. And Edison is the most consistent in that strat out of all the baggers in this community, if I'm not mistaken. He makes that almost every time. So, this is poggers if you're WZ. Unless, of course, we do see a Shotgun 9th in play. I don't know for sure. But Sean's out of the race. Let's be honest here. Sean is out of the race. Edison just sitting there. Shock's going to come in. Dodging a lot of people in the middle of the pack there. I'm not sure who it is. It probably was an AV shot or WZ shot, considering that, you know, Edison was winning the bagging battle. We'll see. Blue comes in. TK coming up the rear. I believe that was maybe Quinn coming up the rear. Looks like a bomb on the line, too, onto Ollie Frey there. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. WollywogZ have taken match 2, I believe, mathematically as well. Avail will be relegated to the lower bracket, and they're going to have a huge mountain to climb if they want to get anything out of this tournament. But very dominant win from WollywogZ. And I must say, I am very impressed. Take a bow, WollywogZ. You are on to the semifinals of the winner's bracket. Actually, Casper hit the wall, and he got redded right away. So not what we want to see early from Casper. This is a good item to have here for Casper. And if WZ does have the shock, then this is free real estate for him, really. Blue comes in, though, onto Sean. Sean actually slows down. He hit the mole right before, which kind of prompted him, which kind of motivated him to slow down even more. But Quinn was well aware of it. Quinn, unfortunately, though, gets bomb sniped right after he made that successful play to slow down to avoid the blue. Top 2-4, though, for AV. Casper using a star, not able to star anybody from AV's top spots. And a shot comes in, dodging Zagler and a Bill. Zagler's going to get all the way back up there. And it looks like it's another... Actually, it's a good race for AV. Maybe a slightly winning race for AV. But a little too late for them. Oh, no, actually, 135 for WZ. I thought that Bill was going to take Zagler all the way up to first. I thought it might have been a 145 or 146. But TK able to secure it. Yeah, Casper not able to grab a box here. Does grab a box. I was going to say, is he going to block it or go for Ultra? He is going to go for Ultra, unfortunately. Sean was able to block him out. Actually, Sean went for nonstop, but Sean ended up hitting the wall himself. Casper is going to go for the run back. Run back failed. Run back failed for Sean. So both streamers, unfortunately, not able to do much. Of course, this is one. Okay, Casper, third time's the charm. There you go, buddy. The race is never over in BC3. I mean, that top 4 is completely... This is the most BC3 race I've ever seen. Look at this. Top 4 broken, and then you have 5th. A good 15 seconds behind 4th. Not anymore, because 4th, I think, might have hit a back spam. But that's what you like to see from BC3. It's just the usual BC. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the gap from first to last. That is insane. It's like opposite corners of the map. Even for BC3 standards, this is crazy. But, yeah, Sean was trying to star somebody taking the Ultra there. Unfortunately, missed it himself. Are we going to see first overlapping? I feel like we will. This is going to be like NASCAR. You're just going to overlap people. Okay, Casper, is he going to go for the Ultra? Jack's going to go for the Ultra. He's going to miss it. Casper's going to go for the Ultra. He misses it. Sean's going to go for the Ultra. He's going to make it, right? Vince is going to go for the Ultra. He's going to make it, right? Wait. Jack. Oh, he missed it. Casper made it, though. Okay. That wasn't part of the plan. And it looks like a easy dodge for Sean. Sean just... Okay. Sean just sat DC'd. Why not? Why not go for the winning race? Damn, I thought he was gonna try to go for a winning race here. Just for pride, but unfortunately... Sean doesn't want any of that. He dodges in a bill, and he's like, okay, we's off. Good night. Yeah, that'll be it. WollywogZ have taken both matches home. First match was a seesaw affair, but the second one was all WZ through and through. And they will be moving on to the semifinals of the upper bracket. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much else to say. That was just pure domination on the side of WollywogZ. The summer split finalists proving their worth here. Avail may have just been biting off more than they can chew. Maybe Avail were a one and done team. I don't know. I would like to see Avail come back, but you know, the narrative that Avail has right now is that they hit their climax in spring split, and then you know they kind of just fell out after that. But hopefully Avail can make a push. You know, make it interesting. WZ were, you know, one of the lower end D1 teams just a year ago, right before the spring split, and even during the spring split too. They had flashes of brilliance in that particular tournament, even keeping it fairly close against KG in the quarterfinals, but a troll attempt right before the start of GP3 was their demise, as KG was able to run away with that. But after that, they were able to make some waves in the side tournaments, even going as far as going to the final of the fourth side tournament against Metro Wipeout, coming up short, as well as coming up short in the final of Summer Split. But WollywogZ have come a long way. As for Avail, you know, they had that Cinderella story in Summer Split. You know, that dramatic comeback, probably the most dramatic and, you know, intense comeback we have ever seen in Mario Kart, in competitive Mario Kart, at least from caster standpoint. But you know, after that, that was their climax. After that, they kind of just fell through. You know, they took match 1 against Ethereal, actually, against all odds, but then Ethereal brought it back, won matches 2 and 3 pretty comfortably, and then after that, they've kind of fizzled out a little bit. So I'm really interested to see how Ethereal are going to do, actually. I feel like Ethereal are the wild card team of this particular tournament, and calling them a wild card, if you were to call Ethereal a wild card team 5 months ago, you'd probably be laughed at all the way out the door. But you know, after that dismal end to the summer split, Ethereal, are they going to be able to bounce back? You know, are they going to show their dominance once again and, you know, prove to the world that, hey, we are a force. We are still a force in this top 8? Or have the other teams figured them out? Have they figured out the puzzle, and will Ethereal ever get back to the dominating form that they once had? That'll be it for today. I'm rambling at this point, so thank you guys for watching. On behalf of Mario Kart Boards, I'm Jaggy. We will see you guys next time.